I'm Scott L. Miller. This is the 17th of March, 2022. Liesl and I are out for a photo walk as we go through one of my favorite spots in the city. This is the Barrio of Guadalupe. We are on the main avenue as it leads to the Iglesia Guadalupe. It is a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. It's one of the most urbane parts of the city. Like here in this little stretch on this avenue, I feel like it really feels like you're in a major city. Like it's just everything. There's so much life. There's so much going on. There's so many little things on the street. The way that the streets are laid out, it's absolutely gorgeous. So we're out because we want to do some photos today, and we're heading to the cemetery. At the top of the avenue comes to the Iglesia Guadalupe. It is one of the famous churches in the city, and it is the southeastern of the major churches. And really, I think of all the churches that you go to, this one has the largest number of people that actually come and use the grounds on a regular basis. Like, it is crowded all the time. It's really, really nice. And it's a cool, like, community area. It is completely surrounded by food trucks and activities. I don't know how much you can see, but I'm gonna spin around. It is food everywhere. Like, this is the major dining location of Guadalupe. It's pretty fantastic, and it's just, you get a little bit of this all around Leon, but the amount that you get here in Guadalupe is far more than anywhere else, even in Subtiava. It's really amazing just how much food there is here in this one spot. It's kind of like going to a giant state fair. That there must be 30 food trucks at least just around the square with Guadalupe Church, and there's restaurants on the street leading up to it, and we're heading to another street that's full of restaurants as well. And so this side over here, the east side of Guadalupe, doesn't have nearly as much food. If you go to the west side, there's actually restaurants, like full-size restaurants, lining the far side of the square as well. So I mean, the total number of eating options up here is really something, and this is a completely zero tourist area. Nobody comes to Guadalupe when visiting Leon. This is truly just a locals neighborhood, but a really, really nice one with a lot of interesting life and culture and color and style. It's one of my favorite areas for sure. I'm gonna get a little bit hard to see with the sun. We're heading to the cemetery because it's sunset. Now, I was out here and walked the same path yesterday and did some exploration and took lots of pictures at the cemetery, which hopefully you got to see. And Lisa was like, this is so cool. She wanted to come up and check it out as well. So we're coming back to the same place that I was yesterday. But of course, today I have the GoPro. Yesterday, I was stuck with no GoPro because I had no battery. So this is nice that I get to bring you along. And Lisa's the one doing the photography today instead of me. So we're going to have a bit of fun with that. But before we get all the way up to the cemetery, we are now south of the church and heading down the main boulevard, going past Crazy Buffalo Wings, which is a pretty cool looking place. If only I ate wings, I would totally be stopping there to eat. It's also a gorgeous looking Chinese restaurant that I'm about to go past in just a minute. Today is Thursday and very busy with work. I had extremely little free time. I was stuck on the phone most of the day, which is often good, right? Dealing with customers, new accounts, doing sales. So it was mostly a pretty productive, good day, but exhausting. Luckily, I put this on the calendar for Liesl and I to come do a photo walk, or I would never be able to get the time away from the office. As it was, I scheduled this for 4:30. And we didn't manage to get out the door until 5, but that's a pretty big win when you're dealing with my schedule. It's just ridiculous. We do have a plan. My hope tonight is I'm gonna make it to Maxi Pali and attempt to buy some tables to use as desks in the house so that I can bring the Mac over with my editing. This is the Cantonese restaurant, by the way. Looks fantastic, but of course nothing Dominica can eat there. I really hope to bring the Mac over as early as tomorrow so that I can have a bit of time to get into the editing. There's just so much to do. I'm struggling to keep up just with the show, and we want to be able to do a lot of other stuff. We've got the drive warps, we've got the take flights, we have This Is Nicaragua, and we're starting more and more stuff with This Is Nicaragua, and we're buying camera gear and all this stuff. We never get a chance to do anything with it because we're just so busy. And the Mac with all the video editing gear is out at the beach. So we're trying to solve that as quickly as we can. I'm going to let Liesl focus on her photography, and I'm going to see you when we get to the cemetery of Guadalupe on the south side of the barrio. At the south end of Guadalupe in the barrio is the cemetery, and this is one of the biggest and most important landmarks in the city of Leon. This is the southern point of the main portion of the city. It is the largest cemetery and the most important in all of Leon. It is absolutely stunning. It's an old colonial cemetery and it gives all that feel. It is so cool. Everything about it is really somber and beautiful and mature. The trees have been there for hundreds of years. So it's really something. And when you're going around in there, it doesn't feel like you're in Nicaragua at all. It's like you stepped into a completely different world. Liesl's really excited about taking photographs in there and checking it out. So we are gonna head right through those gates and bring you with us. Let's go. This is just one of the most gorgeous places, but I don't really want to film inside the cemetery with dialogue. So I'm going to switch us to a time warp so you can come along and see what we're seeing. But this is really a chance for Liesl to do her photography. So you're just going to come along for a ride and check out the sights here. It's beautiful, but it's a real place where people come and relax and traverse the city and get some quiet time. So we're going to leave them to it. Here at the south end of the cemetery, we actually come up against the university, and this is University Row. There's several unis that sit right on this road and then in the area. So this is the whole just university area at South Guadalupe. So it's a really neat part of the city because it has so many college students, but it's its own really interesting barrio with a lot of culture and activity on its own. When people think of the barrio here in Leon, this is the barrio they tend to think of, either this one or Sutiaba. Those two really dominate kind of the thought and picture of what traditional cultural Leon really is. Of course, most visitors only know El Centro. They think of it as the downtown with the basilica and all the restaurants and the tourist stuff, the hotels and all those things. And of course, that's how most people will think of León. But if you're from Nicaragua or if you live in León, these are the areas that you really think of as where people live, with the big populations, the normal homes that go about the normal León lives. This is where you get that really deep culture. And La Barrio, where we live, is pretty cool because even though it itself is neither so big nor so famous, it sits right between these two iconic barrios and gives us easy access to both. One of the harder things, though, is figuring out how to utilize either of these barrios. Nothing that's in them is listed on TripAdvisor. There's no menus online. Information as to where a restaurant or a shop or anything is pretty much doesn't exist. So you're stuck just walking the streets and discovering what's here. But that's pretty cool too, and we're really enjoying it. So we've been through the cemetery now. I hope you enjoyed the walk. I hope it turned out. It's kind of hard to do those. And the sun is a little bit low now, so we're just leaving the golden hour. And Liesl is ready to do the 1.5 mile trek back to the house in La Barrio. Dominica has made seitan steaks for dinner tonight, which is a really cool change of pace. We'll see how they are. We haven't had them before. This is new, but we get pretty tired of the same food. It's a challenge. It's just really hard living in a foreign country where lots of variety of restaurants don't exist. If we lived in Managua, it'd be different. But here in León, variety is very hard, and most of that variety comes in the form of meat, which we don't eat. So it's difficult. And for her, of course, without onions and peppers, it's so much harder. So this is a really big deal. We're really looking forward to doing dinner there. As I said, it's Thursday. It's a relatively event-free day here in the Miller household, but it's been a lot of fun coming out for this photo walk with Liesl. I hope that the photos come out and are really, really cool. I hope that she enjoyed this walk, because I just love it. It's beautiful. The whole walk through Guadalupe and the walk through the cemetery and the iglesia, all of it is very, very cool. This is some of the best walking that León has to offer for sure, and it's really cool. I hope if any of you are looking at coming to León, that you take some time to actually walk the city. It is a safe, very walkable city, and it's not so large that you really get stuck in a position where you're so far from anything that it's really a problem. And you can pretty much always get a taxi from where we are here. You know, taxis come by constantly because of the university, because of the church, even because of the cemetery. You never really tend to be all that far from a decently main road. All right, we are gonna actually head towards the exit at this point and see if we can get hiking, because it's still a ways back. All right, here's what we were not expecting, is they actually lock the cemetery really early with lots of people in here, and there's not exactly a way out. They just pointed us down here and told us to go over the wall, which, okay, is not that bad. Right, like obviously we're not gonna die in here. There's lots of places without security and you can just hop the walls in several different places. But how goofy is it that they lock you in, leave no way to walk in or out, and expect you to just hop over a wall? This is an adventure, apparently, here at the cemetery in Guadalupe. All right, Liesl, you ready to hop over a wall? Is this what we're doing? For real? We're wall hopping people in the barrio? Maybe we should investigate a little farther, see if there's something better than this wall. This wall is a little bit high. It's not bad. It's a little bit high. We're gonna head down this way. All right, no big deal. We just hopped over the wall. I guess that's just what you do, right? When in León, act like the Leonese. And yeah, everything's good. It really is not a very high wall. I mean, you can see us walking by it. It's just when the official guide is, oh yeah, find a spot where the gate is down and then just, you know, slide your butt over the wall and hop down. It's a little bit weird. All right, we're gonna head west in Guadalupe a little bit so we can head north on a different street than we came by. Here's the main gates that are now locked. They actually have 3 sets of gates and they're all locked. I have no idea what the logic is behind that. And then you can just hop over the wall wherever you are. Those are who told us to go down and hop the wall. It's an interesting process. You can also hop over the south side of the wall. So it's not like a security thing. They just don't want people walking in and out, which I get, but it's a little bit early to lock it all up and be like, oh yeah, the place is full of people. Find your own way out. All right, I'm gonna show this beautiful walk It's a little bit hard to see in the darkness, but I think the GoPro is going to pick it up a little bit. It's a really nice boulevard along here. Remember, we're still in the cemetery and university area on the south side of the barrio, and so this is a really nice area. Like, it's just quiet. It does have a lot. This is one of the main thoroughfares coming into the city from Managua, so you get a lot of the people either heading out for the night to go to the capital or coming in from the capital to come back to school or go see the beach or whatever. So it's an interesting area. It was dark by the time we were back from doing our walk, and first of all, I have to apologize. Some of the early clips, we had some audio issues. I have no idea what was going on with the GoPro. It seems to have cleaned itself up by the end, but a couple times it had some audio issues. I have no idea, so I'm sorry for that, because I record directly on the GoPro, and it doesn't give me a monitor. That should be on my list of things I want on the GoPro, but today was fantastic. Liesl and I had so much fun going on our long photo walk. She did some great photos that I'm going to share with you. She got a couple that I really like. She got one of the church right across from my friend Lorenzo's house, and this is handheld in the middle of the night. Well, not in the middle, but after sunset, and she managed to get this really solid picture. And then she got several pictures while we were in the cemetery. Obviously, the church was on the way home afterwards, but she got some really cool ones. All of this was shot on the Olympus PEN E-PL9 with the M.Zuiko 17mm premium Done 1.8 lens, which I love and is often considered the greatest travel lens for micro four thirds. It's a fantastic lens, does a great job resolving. It's a full autofocus, so not like the cap lenses she's done with other photo walks. This was her first time using a full multi-aperture autofocus lens, so a bit different for her. We just had such a nice time. It was a very long walk, several hours. We got to see lots of different areas that she's never been to, checked out restaurants and all kinds of things. So that was a great evening. We got home. Dominica was making dinner as we got in, had a nice evening at the house after the walk. So it was very nice. We had a lot of fun. This morning and the rest of the day, because I kind of went straight into the photo walk, which we did at the end of the day. It was a very busy day of work. I worked all day, had all the normal stuff, right? Started off the morning, walking the dogs, and then, right to work after. That's my morning routine, right? Take the dogs out, run around the neighborhood, check out the schools and the church and the churchyard and see what's going on over there. Also where I'm filming this right now, same spot that I walk the dogs. And we do that every morning and get them kind of to a point where they can relax. They get me normally about 5:30 to 6 at this point is when they get me up. Remember, we don't have daylight savings time here, so we're just on real time. So that doesn't change. Their clocks are their clocks. Got home, made coffee and hung out for a little while with Dominica and Paul before, and I kind of run back and forth to my office space, which is still the little desk. I have not managed. I tried. I wanted to get the new tables and everything and move that in. Did not manage to do that yet. Gonna do that really soon. I swear I have to have that working space. It's becoming critical, but we have not managed to do it yet, even though we did mention it. I have to go to Maxi Pali and find the big working tables to be able to do that. But today, before the photo walk, was really just me in the office, which is in the living room, working all day. Lots of meetings, lots of calls, lots of little projects for customers. But it was a good day. We enjoyed it. And I'm really happy with how this video turned out. And Liesl worked with me on color grading. We did this all it's the first time that we're doing a partial color grade. It's 50% Kodak Film 1 from the Lut Bay to kind of give the warm feel that turned out so nicely. But we did the cemetery walk actually at flat because we just really like how it rendered, for anyone who's interested in how that turned out. Of course, everything's shot on the GoPro 9. And it is actually a struggle to get this video out today in time because it's so long and has so many parts. It takes so long to upload it and re-download it and then to edit it all that it's actually a mad dash, more or less, to get this out in time to actually get it uploaded and rendered so that you can watch it when you're watching it now. So it's if you're wondering, I'm recording this final wrap up because obviously we did the photo walk as it happened. I'm recording the final wrap up an hour after the tour of El Centro posted. That's how close we're cutting it. So I'm gonna finish this video now, get this uploaded so we can get this out to you in about, I think is about 46 hours now until you'll be watching this. So thanks for joining me. And Oh, quick request. Obviously, like, subscribe, all that stuff. But something, I don't have Facebook. If any of you with the almost 450 subscribers we have now, if some of you would get out there and just post a couple of the better videos on Facebook and share it with some people, get the word out there, that would be so appreciated. Of course, share everywhere else as well. Thank you, and I will see you all tomorrow.